Welcome to the #SpeakEasy podcast, getting paid to hit the stage with your host, award-winning speaker and author, Altaviz Pelzer.
Hey, guys. Altaviz Pelzer here, your voice manager. I unmute the voice of women ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. Can I just talk to you guys for a minute and say, hey, it's been a minute since I've done a live broadcast talking to you guys, but I had to go live and talk about this particular topic, and it's the hand I hold. For many of y'all that have been following the podcast or following my journey online, you guys know that as the introvert, as the person that normally is the people pleaser or the person that was the behind the scenes person, moving out into the forefront really set some things in motion for me. It really changed some things, but my mission never changed. My vision never changed. And it was always to be able to empower someone, help someone, encourage someone, to put myself in somebody else's shoes, to learn their life, and to let them know that there is success, there's victory on the other side of no matter what circumstance they may be in. So where is this particular episode coming from? I was reading an article on Quartz, and it was talking about how the podcasting industry has been a very big help for women in India who have been utilizing and listening to the podcast as a means of support and encouragement and empowerment. And it was really significant for a Speakeasy podcast because #Speakeasy podcast listeners, let me share with you just what it over the last year, what we've done when it comes to India. And so first and foremost, myself, Altaviz, I was featured in a magazine that is based in India. It's Upwards magazine. I was super excited about that. Shout out to Abjadbet for extending that opportunity. But I was featured in a magazine over in India. That was absolutely amazing for me. You guys know that the #Speakeasy podcast was just recently started the opportunity for us to be downloaded on a podcasting network that is geared to and focused on those who are in India, and us having that opportunity. And right now, India is our second biggest listening audience. Let me say it again to you for the cheap seats. India is the Speakeasy podcast listeners' second biggest audience. So it's the US and then it's India, which completely is blowing my mind. So when we think about the impact of what we can do as a podcaster, when we think about the impact of where we can actually go, wow, we are going to India and beyond. And I'm super excited about that. Thank you to each and every one of you that have tuned in and supported us in so many different levels and so many different opportunities. You guys know that I've been on several international podcasts. I've been on several international summits. So I've been speaking to people all over, but reading this article really did touch my heart. And it's because a lot of times we forget that, it's this whole debate that goes on behind the scenes, in many political parties and different things where it's, the hand out versus the hand up. And I bypass all of that because I always look at it as the hand I hold. And the hand I hold is just that one person that I may be able to support and encourage, that one person that I may be able to help them to get past whatever it is that they're dealing with right now in the moment. And for sometimes that may mean us donating to domestic violence awareness campaigns and being able to go and support different people, especially during COVID, being able to go and make donations and things of that nature. So World Voice League, which is the company that I founded, that's what we've been able to do. And it feels it feels like I'm going back and being able to be the help that I didn't always have. And so for those of you that do not know, I am a victor over molestation. I am also the mother of 2 teen girls who are victors over molestation. I am an empowerment speaker, but at one point I was homeless. I am a single mother, and at one time I was married, and I am now divorced. So there's been many obstacles, hills, mountains, however you may see them. There have been many, and these are just to name a few, but there have been many that have been placed in front of me that I thought I could never get over. I thought that I could never conquer them. And so to be where I am right now, it's absolutely amazing. And you guys are going to hear an episode a little after this talking about, I literally just received a nomination for being a national top influencer from Success Women's Conference. Like things like that, I never saw myself being able to do, because when I was looking at that mountain after the divorce, when I was looking at that mountain when we were being evicted from our home, myself and my children, and when I was looking at that mountain, I could not see what was on the other side of it. And oftentimes we forget, they always talk about, I'm never going to forget where I came from. Well, I've made it a habit that I don't forget where I came from. I don't forget the things that I endured, because there's somebody out there who's still enduring it. And so if this is for you, if this is speaking to you directly, know that you have support, you have community, you have people that want to see you thrive, not just survive, but see you thrive. Even in the midst of everything we've been going through here, in the midst of COVID and pandemic and, trying to do homeschooling and, oh man, so many different changes here in the U.S. and abroad. There have been changes all across. But I never want you to think that you're alone. And I know it's very easy for us to be able to get into that mindset and in that space of thinking that we have nobody there to hold our hand. And it's not to say that we always need someone to hold our hand. Sometimes we just need to know that we can breathe a little easier because there's someone to help if we need it. That's what, when I think about the hand I hold, I think about, man, looking at the people that supported me in those moments when I didn't know where our next meal was coming from. Moments where, people would show up at the door with food. Moments where I didn't know how I was going to take care of bills. I didn't know how. And we still have moments. It doesn't stop the mountains and the hills from being in your life. Once you are able to go ahead and overcome it, once you are able to conquer it, it doesn't stop them from just coming. It doesn't mean that you'll never see another mountain. It means that you're a little stronger and that you now have a reference point. I need you to hold this, and I need you to grab a hold of it really tightly. You have a reference point that you are so much stronger than what you thought you were. And when you look at that mountain or that hill that you were able to overcome, you see that you have a reference point. You are strong. You are wise. You are an agent of change. And I know it's really hard to think like that sometimes, because we're in that space of thinking that I'm homeless, I can't help anyone. I can't even help me. Or my past sometimes becomes a shackle. Well, if she went through that, then I don't want to they're not going to listen to me. They're not going to understand. They're not going to want to purchase my book. They're not going to want to pay for my business. They're not going to want to support me. But the reality is, it's in your transparency with self first and then with others that you're able to understand that you are so much stronger than what you thought. That thing did not kill you. That thing did not destroy you. That thing, it may have tilted you off of your axis for a moment. It may have gotten you a little distracted off of the journey. But you have the strength to get back up again. You have the strength to start moving again. You have the strength to move forward. And so when I think about the hand out and the hand up, I think about a message that I spoke maybe January of 2017. I was just getting into doing more speaking opportunities and really getting myself out there. And I was speaking to a group of women in New Jersey. And so I was kind of nervous. I was kind of excited, but this speaks directly to the hand I hold. I went to this event and I was supposed to have 45 minutes to speak. Now, any of you that are speakers, you know, when you have a time slot, you are prepared, most are prepared to fill that time slot. Somebody say fill the slot, okay? So I went and I was excited and I was there. And I'm looking at all these other speakers that are going up. And, you know, I always get nervous before I speak because I always, you know, my prayer is always, God, less of me and more of you. You know, whatever needs to happen in this time, it's going to happen. And so I said, oh, my goodness, let me go ahead and, you know, get ready. I'm good. I'm watching speaker after speaker. I didn't know there wasn't a lineup, so I didn't know when I was going to be speaking. So I'm like, okay, great. So then the young lady that was with me at the time, the organizer of the event, called her to the side, and then they called me out. And they said, well, because people were taking so much time, you're only going to have 10 minutes. Now, put the pause right here. Put the pause. If you are a speaker and you are told you have 45 minutes, and then 2 minutes before you're supposed to get up, they tell you you have 10 minutes. Most speakers, because they work in such a way that they think, you know, I always got to do keynote addresses and things like that. They don't think about impact all the time. They freak out. They would have passed out, cried, freaked out, not knowing what to do. But as for me, I took it as an opportunity and a challenge. And I said, okay, no problem. And, you know, they apologized and everything like that. And I said, well, we going to make it happen. We going to make it work. I got up, y'all, and did my message in 8 minutes, less than 8 minutes. And it was hold my hand. See how this all goes full circle. It was hold my hand. But one of the things that I said in that message was, I said, you never know the person that you're holding, you know, the person whose hand you're holding right next to you. You'll never know if that's the next president. You'll never know if that's the next CEO or founder. You don't know if that's the next angel investor for your business or your brand. Or that you're literally setting the stage for somebody else to be able to be blessed by the connection that you're making. And it was a powerful speech. I put it up on Facebook. It went, and folks were viewing it, a couple thousand views. And I was just like, wow. You know, at first I wasn't even going to put it out there for people to see it. And the person that was with me was like, no, you must not know what you said. You must not know the power of your voice. I need you to put that video up. And I put it up. Here's why I'm saying that. And this is not just to the women in India, but this is to women everywhere. This is to men everywhere. I need you to put the video up. I need you to put the win that you had. I need you to celebrate it. The obstacle that you overcame, I need you to put it out in the forefront and tell yourself and look at it and say, I did that. I overcame that. I was able to accomplish something amazing. I want you to tap into the fact that you can have your own highlight reel. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to post it on social media. You can have it in your mind. I need you to tap into the highlight reel sometimes. And I know with everything that we have going on, we fall into a habit of tapping into the mistakes that we made. We tap into what went wrong. But I need you to tap into the highlight reel. I need you to see that you made the touchdown, or that you accomplished the dream. You went back to school and graduated. You went and you did something amazing. You made that cake and sold it. The first one. I need you to go back to the highlight reel and realize that you are stronger than you thought. And so the hand I hold is yours. No matter what part of the world you may be in. No matter what you may be going through right now. The hand I hold means I'm holding you accountable to you. I'm holding you accountable to who you said you wanted to be. I'm holding you accountable to the things that you put on your vision board. Because if I was never held accountable, I would not be here right now making the impact that we're making. Each of you, there's somebody who's waiting on you. There's somebody who needs what it is that you have. And so with each time that you go and you set up that support, you do something, you publish the book, you start the business, you sell the cake, you speak on a stage, you start the podcast, whatever it is that you're meant to do, it's going to be you stretching your hand out to whoever needs it in that moment. So the hand I hold is meant to hold someone else's hand. And that's where the accountability comes in. Something that I did a couple years ago was I started a accountability community. And when it started, it was for any entrepreneur. But it's progressed into being just for female entrepreneurs. Because sometimes we just need somebody to hold our hand. Not we need somebody to baby us or pacify us, but we need somebody to keep us accountable for the life that we said we wanted to live. And so I need someone to hold my hand. I put my hand in theirs. I give them opportunities and resources. We place them on their feet on solid ground. Sometimes you get into so many different opportunities and communities that you're kind of like floating in the air from information. And the hand I hold, I'm telling you, okay, it's great to get information, but it's even better to take action. We are an action-driven community. And I know that we often will have people who really see us as, this indestructible person sometimes, especially on social media. No, it's not that we're indestructible. Sometimes it's just that when destruction happens, we have people around us that's willing to put the pieces back together. When destruction happens, we have people standing and waiting with glue. We have people standing and waiting with sewing needles and thread. And it's the people that are standing around us with the sewing needles and thread, ready to help us to mend whatever was ripped apart, to add whatever is needed to cover the holes, to be able to create a new design within our lives. It's valuable. And so, Speakeasy podcast listeners, this may not be for you per se. It may be for a friend that you know is going through something. I want you to share this episode with her. I want you to go ahead and let them know that they are not alone and that there's somebody willing to hold their hand. Now, it'll go to another level depending on you. but the help is there. If you go to bit.ly/World Voice Member, you can be a part of our accountability community. We would love to have you. But if you're just willing and ready and waiting just to get in your foot in the door, bit.ly/World Voice Community. It's our free Facebook group. We would love to have you in the conversation. Because guess what? The hand I hold is the one that needed what I had to offer. There may be someone else whose hand you need to hold, and they may be in that community. #SpeakEasy podcast listeners, welcome to the #World Voice League. We welcome you with open arms. Come join the conversation. bit.ly/World Voice Community. Guys, I had to do this episode after reading that article because if just one of the listeners, one of the people that download this episode is from India, I want you to understand that I am standing beside you. And I am encouraging you that you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are so wise, and you are meant to do great things. I appreciate y'all. I applaud you. This is your host, Altavis Pelzer, your voice manager. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.
Thanks for listening. If you were inspired, leave us a 5-star review, share with a friend, and subscribe.